Greetings, and welcome to yet another voiceover-rich slideshow. This time, we venture deep into the heart of the New Braunfels, Texas jungle to do some task-loaded diving in the wilds of the Comal River. All photograph credit to Angela Dial Roth, Instagram @surfaddict78, Facebook @angela.d.denham. Also, if you haven't already, I'd like to remind you to like and subscribe to @Interitus Training on YouTube and Instagram, and Interitus LLC on Facebook. That said, let's get on to the show. As part of her preparation to do some light commercial dive work for some local San Antonio companies, Angela needed to take her newly acquired full face mask skills to the next level. She needed tougher conditions than the swimming pool that is Spring Lake at the Meadows Center. So, into the post-flood Comal River we went. Our tasks for the day were to deal with the current and restricted visibility while employing the metal detector and the camera. Unfortunately, the metal detector was interfering with her wrist-mounted computer, so she mostly ran camera and left the metal detecting to me. What we were left with is a short wildlife documentary slideshow. So visibility was between 4 and 6 feet, but still, as you can see, very hazy. Also, there's a lot of plant life doing its level best to choke off the river. Here we see a lot of kabomba, which is native to Texas but grows so fast it has the capability to choke off a slower flowing waterway like the Comal. Still, Angela got some good shots of the local wildlife, so let's start with 100% native to New Braunfels species, the sunfish. Bluegill, green sunfish, hybrid, depending on species of blend. Sometimes these fish are stripy, sometimes shiny. They're always tasty. I think our next task to load will be fishing licenses and spear guns. Here we have one of them who's created a little nest under some of the plant life. He likes to hide. Got a little close-up action right here. Kind of looking at you like, okay, what's going on? This one wants to protect their nest. I can understand that. This guy right here, I'm not sure what species that is. Could be bluegill, could be green stripe. I think it's one of the hybrids, though. As you can see on the nose there, just a little bit of the lines that should be on the green sunfish. There's a slightly better photograph of him, or her. I can't tell. I'm not a biologist. I'm a criminologist. Over here, pretty sure that's another hybrid sitting in the weeds. I want to say it had some nesting nearby. A lot of them were very aggressive. Not sure why. Here's two that absolutely were aggressive. They were chasing everybody away. They had formed a little nest down here, but as you can see, some of the plant life kind of bleeds into where the nest should be. But yeah, they're going to look at you and they're going to stare at you until you go away. Here's another one. No idea what kind of sunfish or bluegill this is. Again, I think they're most likely some kind of hybrid because they're all just kind of stuck in the river. Even more bluegill. Yet again, some kind of bluegill or sunfish. This one especially, I'm pretty sure is a hybrid. Look at all the markings on the face versus the lack of vertical striping on the body. And here he goes away from Angela because maybe he's camera shy, doesn't like the paparazzi. Don't know. Still, for lack of species identification, I can at least tell that it's some kind of sunfish. Maybe one of the many biologists native to this area can help us out. Till then, we've seen enough sunfish. So let's move on to crawdads. Red swamp crayfish, Louisiana crayfish, mudbug, tiny lobster, whatever you want to call Procambarus clarkii, go for it. Native to the southeastern U.S. and northeast Mexico, like tiny little lobsters, they are delicious. Just make sure you've got your permit before catching them. We have this guy. There are many down there, but this one really stood out, literally. no cover, no concealment, just hanging out, being a little aggressive, waving his claws at you, trying to tell you go away. He's feisty. But he's not the only feisty one. Let's look at our next local species. While native to Texas, this species developed in the Texas-Louisiana coastal area before U.S. government migration program brought it to the south central Texas region. This would be Nauta texania barbiensis. While land-based, this subspecies has adapted remarkably well to aquatic environments. And after a period of adaptation and experimentation, has become accustomed to the lower visibility and flowing waters of the region and is considered to be beneficial to the environment, unlike our next species. Because while related to the native Texas cichlid, the blue or banded tilapia, or Euchromis aureus, was released into the wild back in the 60s through a combination of accidental releases and short-sighted reservoir management ideas. This is invasive. Can't stress this enough. It is not native to this area at all. Unfortunately, they are now fully entrenched in our waters. This species outcompetes native fish communities and spends a large part of the early spring and summer seemingly spawning faster than the native sunfish variants. Those lumps on the side, when I first saw them, I thought were some kind of damage. Apparently, this is just mucus buildup from scraping out what is called sometimes their volcano nest. 10 minutes or so on the U.S. Fish and Wildlife website told me what this was, and it's just clumps of mucus from scraping out a nest. However, they have one redeeming quality. They are delicious. Bread them, fry them, stick them in a stew. They're good eating. And as far as I know, there's no bag limit on invasive species. So get your fishing license, go to town. Now, another non-native species has also settled in this area, but much like Nauta texanius barbiensis, Homo floridianus enteritus is considered to be a beneficial environmental impact. Here we can see the enteritus subspecies as it prowls the Comal River. Adapted to its environment, it has developed tools and techniques to scavenge the detritus left by the passing of surface-dwelling native fauna, asking only that people not touch it, while it spends hours scavenging the riverbed and extracting toxic elements such as lithium, aluminum, nicotine, along with rubber, paper, sunglasses, bungee hooks, snagged fish hooks, lures, discarded clothing and shoes, wallets, speakers, cutlery, improperly disposed of drug paraphernalia, and anything else that shouldn't be there, often going so far as to return some of the more valuable identifiable items to the persons who littered them into the riverbed in the first place. This species, however, is also noted for amassing stocks of dried out lithium batteries, cheap sunglasses, swim goggles, and other items which can be cleaned up and donated or sold to ensure that it can return to the river to scavenge again, leaving only when its pouches are teeming with fines, only to start again as soon as its pouches are empty and its air source is full. Thank you for staying with us for this short review of some of the fauna found in the Comal River at Hinman Island. This has been Enteritus Mobile training when you want it, where you want it. Like and subscribe to stay up to date on what we're doing, and we'll catch you next time.